Okay, thanks. Okay, we're going to get started recognizing our retirees. Feel free, get up, grab more to eat, get a drink as we recognize the retirees. Most people that are here being recognized are retiring for the first time, but I did want to recognize one person who's kind of retiring for the second time. Warren, come on up here, Warren Verno, come on up here. Warren, even though after he retired from Highland as an English teacher, he was a permanent sub. Then after that, he retired from being a permanent sub, so I guess like his third time retiring. But he still would come around, take pictures for me. Many of you saw him at all of our events. I even had to get him board approved, so we got him board approved. But Warren has told me that without Tom and me here, he just can't come back anymore. So, Warren, but I want to thank you really for everything that you've done, I know, for me over the last 6 years. So thank you.
Thank you, everybody, and have a great time.
All right, I'd like to call up Rosie and Agnes. Roseanne, come on up. Tom, Mr. Storer, you might as well come up. I feel bad for Roseanne, but of course everyone knows Roseanne is Mr. Storer's secretary, but I have a little, I got a little bio from everyone who's retiring to make sure I got all my dates right. But Roseanne has spent 13 years at Highland. She started in the BD program. I really didn't know that. I'm surprised that it's Tom that's pushing her out and not the BD program. But from the BD program, she went to be the vice principal for Mr. Storer, and she has been there ever since. I know in my 6 years here, Roseanne has just been absolutely amazing. She's always very professional. Anything I ask of her, she does with a smile. She takes care of any students that are coming in the office. She's always warm, welcoming, even the most challenging ones that we have. She always tries to find a way to reach them. She's going out probably with one of her most challenging years with the kids that she's seen this year. She is our most seasoned secretary at Highland. She is leaving us, and she has left her mark on Highland, and I thank you, Roseanne, for everything you've done. As we all know, we're always nervous when Tom speaks, but I have to give him the opportunity. I have to give it to him. All right, Mr. Storer? Thank you.
There are only a few women in my life who really matter. My wife, my mom, she's no longer with us, and Roseanne. Thank you very much.
So Roseanne, on behalf of the Highland family, we have these gifts for you. Would you like to say anything?
No.
She said she's short and sweet.
Short and sweet, I said.
All right, thank you, Roseanne. And with Roseanne today is her son, Nick. So thank you, Nick, for joining us. Okay, next I have Blanche. Is Blanche? Come on up. Blanche Barley, come on up. Very nice. So as you know, Blanche is a member of our cafeteria staff. She has many members of her family with her today. Her sister Maria is here. Her children Fred, William, Nicole, Yoshika, her granddaughter Corey, and also her daughter-in-law Tracy. So thank you all for coming to share in Blanche's special moment. In looking for a bio for Blanche, I found out a lot about Blanche that I wanted to share with all of you. Her passion for cooking led Blanche to receive her culinary arts degree from the Technical Institute of Camden County College. Blanche has worked 10 years at Timber Creek before being transferred to Highland. While at Timber Creek, Blanche created all of her recipes from scratch. And being a member of the staff there at Timber Creek, I do often remember staff would be saying, "What's Blanche serving today? What kind of soup did she make?" There is no doubt that Blanche is an amazing cook. Blanche has been featured in Southern Living magazine in 1997 for her desserts, pastries, and bread. She worked at Hogan's 34 restaurant, as a restaurant that was owned by Charles Barkley. She was a pastry chef for the Cruise West Alaskan Cruise Line, making her homemade desserts. Warren, I don't know if you ever saw Blanche there, but Warren takes a lot of cruises now. Not only has she created many special events, created meals for many special events such as weddings and church functions, she also catered her own surprise her own surprise birthday party, and she didn't even know it. Her kids had asked her to prepare the food, and when she arrived, that's what she was eating, the food that she prepared. Was it good? Blanche is a kind and loving mother of 9 children, grandmother of 17, and also a great-grandmother. She is an aunt, and she also cares for her sister, and she is a foster parent to over 20 children. Yep. And she also keeps in touch with, and she is a woman who absolutely loves the Lord and gives him the credit for all of her success and her talents. And from knowing Blanche just personally, she is just a wonderful, a beautiful woman, a very caring, kind to whether it be our students, faculty, or just anyone she comes in contact with. And Blanche, I want to thank you for all the years you have given us. Thank you.
I just want to thank staff, and I appreciate all of this. I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss the children. But my kids have an adventure for me to do. So I'll be traveling and maybe starting a business, my family. Maybe going in foster care, taking care of kids again. I'm sorry.
And Blanche, here you go. On behalf of your Highland family, we have a little something for you. Thank you.
Excuse me, don't talk yet.
Sue Sweeten, come on up, Sue, from our special education department. Okay, 17 years ago, Sue was hired to work as an instructional aide at Triton. She worked in various content areas in the classroom. She was also placed in a Spanish class where she exceeded beyond her expectations and even learned a little Spanish, where she was able to actually help students. So very good. Very good.
That was amazing.
She has also worked in the Living Skills program. After 10 years at Triton, she transferred to Highland. She says, thank goodness she did. Right?
I did cry at first, but then, happy tears later. Today, happy tears.
That's right.
She also started out the BD program at Mullen.
Jeez.
In the BD class.
I'm a jack of all trades.
She sure is. She's worked in the job transition program as an aide and also a job coach. And again, in Highland, she spent time in both the Spanish classroom and the English classrooms as well. Sue is, again, a wonderful person. Her smile is going to be missed in the hallways, her friendly hellos every day that I see her. And I'm sure that your special education department, as well as the rest of the Highland family, is going to miss you. So thank you for everything.
Thank you.
All right. On behalf of your family.
Thank you.
Highland family. Okay, Ed Casey, come on up, Ed. Okay, with that, Ed, as you know, is a member of our maintenance staff, and with him he has his wife, Susan. I can look down here a little bit. Wife, Susan, hello, welcome. Sons, Ed, you know Ed, of course, and Kevin. Ed has spent 6 years at Highland. He started as a substitute, and then he moved on to the night shift. From the night shift, Ed moved to the day shift, and as most of you have always seen him in the cafeteria, taking care of Tom Palumbo, really, but we pretend he's on the maintenance staff. He's really watching Palumbo. Before coming to Highland, he was self-employed for 20 years. Heating and air conditioning, Dr. Very good. He's been married for 48 years to a great lady, Susan. That's a quote by Ed. And he has 2 sons and 5 grandkids. When he retires, he plans on spending time with his grandchildren, along with what he told me one time is doing whatever he wants, whenever he wants. Right? So I just broke that to your wife. Ed, again, he's one who is always professional. Whatever I've ever asked him to do, he's just jumped right on it and take care of things without any questions asked. And again, I appreciate all the support, the leadership that you've given in our maintenance department. Again, when Bill Collins was here, we needed someone to watch him as well, so we do give you a nice challenge. Oh, I'm sorry, Bill's here today. But really, thank you again for everything. And I know Tom has, would like to say a few words as well.
Eddie, Kevin, I knew your dad when I was the trainer and you guys were just playing sports, of course. So I met Mr. Casey as a parent. And then he came up to Highland and we got to know each other as colleagues. Some of you in the math department and maybe the French department, Spanish, Ed and I, along with our old friend Walt Ewan, actually put up all the whiteboards. They were skins that we would cut, lubricate them with Dawn, some kind of Dawn soap, stretch them out, squeeze them out. So I've known Ed as a coworker, and now we're going to walk into the sunset together, and we can't wait to get going. So congratulations, Ed, and thank you.
Ed, from your Highland family, a few little parting gifts.
Thank you very much.
Oh, Mr. Storer, your last one. Mr. Recca Ray, as you know, is at the baseball game, so we'll recognize him the last day when we have our faculty meeting. Christina? Ron?
Party here?
Tom's not interested here, so I figured I'd get us together one more time.
People may never see me again.
Not that you have, but just in case you happen to pop out. We have his wife, Jen, as most of you know. Jen Storer back there. Tom has spent 43 years in education. 37 of them have been in the Black Horse Pike Regional School District. Prior to coming to Highland, he taught for 6 years in special education at Paulsboro. He also coached wrestling and the women's softball team. He started as athletic trainer at Highland in 1984 and remained as the trainer there here for 25 years. He also coached wrestling during his time at Highland and then moved into the vice principal's role. As a vice principal, he was named the vice principal of the year in 2011. I have to say that on a personal note, when I first came to work at Highland, wasn't really too sure how I was going to work with Tom. I didn't know him all that well. I wasn't too sure how things would go. His wife's on the board. I mean, was he going to run home and tell his wife everything? I didn't know what was going to happen, right? But I have to say that I'm more probably a little like Tom is than I really would have ever thought, and hate to admit. But Tom, absolutely, he has a bleeding heart for all of our students. There is no doubt about it. No matter what student comes into his office, he does whatever he can to try and reach that student. There's not one student that he has ever even given up on. He's attempted to say it this year, but he has never actually done it. But really, he just has a heart of gold, and whether it's for our students or our faculty, I know that Tom is always going to take care of the people who come in his path. And there is no doubt I got to thank Tom for all the support that he has given me. Even at times when he hasn't agreed, he'd leave and just wave me off, but next thing you know, he was doing it anyway. So I have to appreciate him for doing it. And I have to say, over the 6 years, I consider Tom one of my good friends. He's really been a great person to work with, and I thank you for everything, and I'm sure we'll keep in touch.
I'm sure we will. Thank you.
So I first want to thank our team here, because this is the team that gave me a chance and an opportunity on someone who was young and new to the game. So they took a chance and kind of had brought me on and taught me everything I know to be a VP. So I owe this team a lot. But I'm especially going to miss Tom and Beth both, because I just feel like they were my role models, someone that I wanted to be like. And it really helped guide me. So, I mean, thank you for all of your support, your guidance, and I know you'll still be around, and you know I'll be texting you, and maybe I'll have my yellow notepad and have to ask you some questions, because you know I carry that around. So good luck. I'm gonna miss you. I wish you were staying longer, but I'm over it, so.
Thank you very much.
And I just want to point out, Christina said that Tom was a role model. But does any of you guys remember, it was my first year, we were dressing up for Halloween, and he came down the hallway in a Superman skin-tight outfit? Well, thank God Christina didn't see him then, because he wouldn't be no role model for him. Phew.
How do I top that? All right, so I'm sitting in my office the first day of work 16 years ago, and I'm like, what am I going to do on my first day? And the first person that comes into my office and introduces himself was Tom Storer. So he comes in, he says, hey, I used to work for your dad at Paulsboro when my dad was superintendent. And he was telling me some funny stories. He's like, yeah, I gave your dad this letter on the last day or close to the last day at work. And your dad looks at the letter, he's like, you sure you want to turn this letter in? And he's like, yep. Because my dad wanted to give it back to him. I'm not going to say what was in the letter. It wasn't about my dad, I don't believe, was it? No, not at all. But I got some people and some things at Paulsboro, and from that day forward, we became pretty good friends. I've seen Tom, we've had many of the laughs. I always remember on the senior trip, the airport, taking some kids back and laughing. I remember when he was in my office screaming at this kid with his vein popping on the top of his forehead, trying not to laugh. I don't think I've ever seen him as angry in my life as well. But it's been a lot of great times. It's 16 years, it's been so fast, and same thing. I just want to wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
We have a little gift for Tom, too, from the Highland family.
Thank you.
You wanna say anything?
I do. Okay, I really respected Roseanne, and Mr. Casey's a good friend, and my colleagues in administration are terrific. I couldn't have been anything without them, unless you believe the Superman outfit. And it was a crowd pleaser. And I'm thinking about bringing it back one more time for Sarah and Christina. So, girls, be ready. It's a good time. Thank you, everybody. It's been great working with you. It's been great working for you. You're a great crowd. Highland's always been my family. You know that because I have the Highland tattoo. It'll never leave my heart. It'll never leave my leg. Although I may never come back, I still love you.
I want to recognize and just thank all the former Highland faculty that is here. I don't know everyone to name all of them, but it just goes to show and tell you a lot about Highland and the Highland faculty and how much everybody cares about each other, that people would come out, you know, year after year. Everybody comes to our retirement gathering, our end of the year gathering. You really are a wonderful, wonderful group of people. Thank you also to all of the family members and friends that have come. I too am retiring, but I'm just doing my own speech, okay? I do want to thank you for the past 6 years. I know when I first came to Highland, I said there's no better place to end my career, and I have to say that it did turn out that way. I really loved all the people that I've come in contact with. I really couldn't have thought of a better place to end my educational career. Two of the people that I would have missed the most from Timber Creek came today, and that's Rob Malofsky and Bob Murphy. So I want to thank them for coming. But to all of you, really, all the support that you've given me, you've really been amazing. So I thank you. I wish everybody the best of luck. Have an awesome summer. And also, I see Frank Palatucci snuck in somewhere along the way. I didn't see him. Thank you, Frank. But really, thanks again, everybody, for coming. We have some more food, drinks, help yourself. And like I said, unfortunately, Ray's not here. If anybody's catching the end of the baseball game, it started at 4. Okay, thanks.
Thank you.